Hello everyone, we are all set to preview the big game today. It's the game between the Rajasthan Royals and the Kings 11 Punjab. It's going to be played at the Sharjah Cricket Stadium, a high scoring venue, two power packed sides. Are we all set for a high scoring thriller? Could it be the game of sixes and fours? We've got to watch out. Two sides that have come off from victories. Rajasthan, a very good win against the CSK. Punjab, after a heartbreaking loss, to bounced back so strongly against RCB. Who's going to make it big in today's game? Let's have a look at both the teams. We're going to look at the Rajasthan Royals team. Technically, they're the home side. They've already had one game at the Sharjah Cricket Stadium. A high performance there at that time. Good batting, fair amount of bowling done there. Would we anticipate any changes in the squad? Yes, Vs Buttler is all fit. He's back from quarantine. He will walk into this side. But the question is, who would he replace? Would Rajasthan look at a like-to-like replacement in terms of taking off David Miller, who didn't have a great game? He didn't bat. He was out for Diamond Duck. No fault of his. But would Miller go off, or will they take a risk of taking off Tom Curran? I think ideally I would want Josh Butler coming in and replacing David Miller, surely because Butler will have to open the innings. There are talks about Steve Smith opening along with SSV Jaiswal. I think if you look at it, if Butler can open and he sets the platform, SSV Jaiswal is a youngster just coming up the curve in the international arena. He's just going to get that extra time in to settle. And then you've got the likes of Steven Smith and Sanju Samson. Mind you, Samson has an excellent record against the Kings 11 Punjab. So if he can just carry on that form of what that the Herculean amount of running and hitting that he did against Chennai, if he can just carry that on, I don't think the batting will even go beyond number 4 or number 5, because you're looking at a ground like Sharjah where the average score is in excess of 190. It's a smaller ground. There is going to be dew, but smaller ground, shorter boundaries. So obviously there are a lot of runs to be there for the taking there. And then you have Uthappa coming in, Riyan Parag. The bowling pretty much is sorted. I don't think Rajasthan is going to make much of change there. The only thing that they might look at it is, do they continue with Shreyas Gopal or not? But I think given that he's bowled well, they would want to continue with Shreyas Gopal and Rahul Tewatia. Tewatia had an excellent game. Gopal was slightly expensive, but then again, you're looking at a winning combination. You don't want to change much. The only change that we anticipate is Butler coming in, David Miller going off. Tom Curran would have to be there because he's a death bowling option for them. Otherwise, Unadkat needs a better game. Sharjah is not been a great place for bowlers, but then he needs to have a better game there. All in all, a power pack side like Rajasthan Royals. Jofra Archer is one of the highest wicket takers against the Kings 11 Punjab last year. So you're looking at Jofra Archer once again back. He's had a decent break for the last 3 or 4 days. A side that packed their punch, they're coming in with a lot of confidence. Can they go ahead, because they're going to be up against the side like Punjab, who've got two very good bowlers. They've got bowlers like Shami and Cottrell, good leg spinners as well. How are they going to tackle it? I think lot means to be seen, like how Butler sets the tone. If Butler can set the tone perfectly, Steve Smith, Sanju Samson carrying it off. One area where Rajasthan might stumble is the finishing, because you don't have a big hitter there. They lack Ben Stokes. But that's where perhaps they might want to send a Riyan Parag slightly up the order, or Uthappa coming in there showing his flair for strokes. I think if that can happen, then Rajasthan are well set to say we are also going to go 2 wins on a row. Let's see how it goes. And now this is the team for Rajasthan Royals for today. And now we are going to look at the Kings 11 Punjab. An excellent game versus RCB. They've, by that big margin of win that they've ensured that they've got a very high net run rate. So, and rightfully so, they are entering into a ground where the ground would suit all of the big hitters. Does this make them go ahead and choose the universe boss into their squad, into the playing 11? Everyone's anticipating for Gale to come in there. But who would go out? Logically speaking, there's only one player that they can get off for Gale. It has to be Nicholas Pooran. But if Gale comes in, what happens to the batting lineup? You look at KL Rahul and Gale opening, Mayank Agrawal coming in at number 3. That sort of sets the top 3. But then number 4, number 5, and number 6 have to be a bit fluid. Karun Nair at number 4, 2 early wickets, you get in Karun Nair. But suppose the second wicket falls only at, say, the 12th or the 14th over, then you're looking at a Maxwell and a Nisham coming in there. But there is another thought, like, why are they yet to try out Mujibur Rahman? Mujib has had an excellent CPL. He's someone who's known to bowl economical. Would he be handy against Rajasthan, especially at Sharjah? The only thing is he's an off spinner, and there are lot many right-handers in Rajasthan's lineup. So instead of getting in Mujib there and Max, you don't want to ignore Maxwell at any cost. And same way, Nisham didn't play much in the last game. He had 2 overs to bowl. He did fairly decent, a good fielder. I wouldn't want him to disturb the middle order, because you take one person out, you're actually falling short of one batsman. And at a high scoring venue like Sharjah, you wouldn't want to do that. So Nisham at number 5, Maxwell at number 6, they can come up at number 4 if there is a case where the Punjab team needs to rise up in momentum. And then you get Sarfaraz at number 7. Sarfaraz, again, a finisher's role, or possibly coming in there to knock off those 10-15 runs there. Number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, I think Cottrell and Shami have done an excellent job. They are two bowlers who've shown their skill. Shami has been, perhaps he's been a revelation this year. The first 2 matches he's bowled so well, so economical in a T20 game. Cottrell's comeback, you could see the difference in his swing in the last game against RCB. And then Ravi Bishnoi, oh, what a find he is. He's doing excellently. He's turning the ball well. His googlies are playing. I think Ravi Bishnoi and Murugan Ashwin. Murugan Ashwin is a far understated spinner. He bowled well when he was having a stint at the Rising Pune Super Giant. Hasn't had much of chances, but in the last game you saw him bowl very well. And the advantage that both these spinners are going to have is they're going to have to attack the right hand batsman. So which means they're going to take the ball away from the right handers. It's going to be a bit difficult for them. What length do they bowl? I think if they can just watch the videos of the Rajasthan Royals, they'll know the way Tewatia bowled and Shreyas Gopal bowled. A slightly shorter length, not too fuller, and slightly slower. They are going to entice the batsman into making false strokes. All in all, this is going to be the lineup for Punjab. It's going to be a power-packed contest. I am looking at a very high-scoring game. Sharjah is known to produce such high scorers. You look at the history, you look at the stats that have been there in the past. You've got players like Gale, Buttler, Steven Smith, bowlers like Jofra Archer, Mohammad Shami. There's a lot of skill, a lot of talent, a lot of experience. We are all set for a high-scoring thriller. May the best team win, and all the best to both the teams.